Good morning, people. Well, I decided to have a cup of tea first. Okay, it's not my first one anyway, it's probably the third one. I need something to keep going today. We have a cozy temperature of 10 degrees centigrade inside. Outside it's a bit above zero, I'd say. So anyway, I decided to have a small talk, little small talk about Switzerland, its structure and current upcoming topics we have to vote, and November 27th. Well, most of the people around the globe probably think Switzerland is just this one. Okay, I did my best to wash it, sorry. So, something you can get in one piece, one state. But actually Switzerland is more like this here. Still Switzerland, and again, and again, and again, and so this is quite about Switzerland. And Switzerland is not only 26 of these colorful pieces, it's also 4 language areas and every language area divided in lots of dialects, and some parts even divided like this one. You can probably see that looks quite a lot like the same coat of arms. It is, but it still isn't. 2 states divided in, or let's say one of the smallest states of Switzerland divided into 2 states because of, well, history 500 years ago about. Now there is some general system. You can see where the languages go in Switzerland. We have here the map, and these are about 300 kilometers across, so you can guess there isn't much room for all those 26 different ideas about how to do things. Then we have languages. From about here, let's say, yeah, it's not a straight line, but it's around here. Left part French. And we have a part here, about here, down here. South part Italian. And the rest of it about here. Mostly something like German. The Germans and Swiss always disagree a little bit about if Swiss German is German or just not quite unlike German. And around here, yeah, that's here and some here and some parts around here, Romansch. That's yeah, I guess if you sort of mix Italian and Swiss German, you get more Italian than Swiss German. But you make Italian sound like Swiss German, you get some more or less, you get Romansh. Spoken here in valleys, because here this is just mountains everywhere and valleys in between, like here too. The Alps are going, yeah, around here. This area are Swiss Alps, Austria, Germany, France, Italy and Liechtenstein. Don't forget Liechtenstein. Well, this is Switzerland. So you see, we are some are talking French, some are talking Italian, some here around are talking German nobody else understands in the world, including other Swiss people. And here this is divided in lots of different types of Swiss German. Of course, this French are dialects, of course, too. Italian is, of course, it's a dialect too. So, but it's mostly divided in German, French, Italian, more or less. And yeah, the Romansh is spoken a bit around here into Austria too, but then it's mostly over. And now you think about Swiss politics. The federal capital is here. They are talking Swiss German. Then let's say the financial capital, Zurich, Bern is federal capital here. Zurich is more or less the financial capital, if you want, and the biggest city is here. Then you have sort of an industrial capital, pharmaceutical industry, medicaments and stuff. Basel here, German speaking too, German speaking, Zurich. And then you have sort of the international capital of Switzerland, if you want, so is Geneva, Genève. And here we have international organizations like Red Cross, United Nations, stuff like this over there. So this small part of Switzerland actually surrounded by France and only a little bit of border into Switzerland actually. The rest of it is France. This area is international, very international. And so are areas like Basel are also oriented quite a lot to France and Germany. And this is very Swiss, Bern. Zurich is also very international airport. There is just an international airport in Zurich and in Geneva. A big one, very small ones are around somewhere else too. So you have this thing, you see here is a state, here is a state. Those are these twos I showed before, are half of it here, half of it here. State, another state here, another here. There's a bit a bigger one, there's one, there's one, there's one. You get the idea. Some of the states are just the city of Basel, together with two other municipalities or three, and so on. Now you see, if the people in Bern say Switzerland has to do something, whatever, the French say, oh yeah, the German-speaking guys, 2/3 of Switzerland, have said we have to do something. Eastern Switzerland say, oh yeah, the people in the city over there had to say something. Who cares? People in the mountain says we need more money, because we can't do it up here in the mountains without some extra money, which is mostly right. Everything is costing far more up here. And in Ticino they say, why don't they learn Italian first before they tell us what to do? Yeah, the people in Zurich say, oh, who cares about Bern? We are more interested in New York, London, Shanghai. and so on. You get the point. So federal institutions have to be spread around. Something in Bern, something in Lausanne, something in St. Gallen. That's quite about here. Something in Bellinzona, Ticino, and so on. And it has to be spread. One federal court in Lausanne, one in St. Gallen, one in Bellinzona. Yeah, stuff like this. And the same is when we vote for something. Swiss are always voting, several times a year. And the states have the state law. Federal law is above state law. That's a difference to some other bigger countries at the other side of the Atlantic, where I'm not always sure about this. And in Switzerland, it still works that federal law is higher ranking than state law. And what Switzerland is discussing right at the moment is not the hardest stuff I've seen this year, but still, where I live, that's in the Thurgau, that's where is it? Hard to find something in this pile of Switzerlands. That's here. Yeah. Geographically here. I'm living here. And I was born here, so I guess I can say I'm really sort of from this state. In the political way, some people may disagree. Well, we always disagree. And we have something in this okay, it's not the smallest state in area, but it's not a rich one. It's solid financial situation. It's not the most important one. But some decision really affects whole Switzerland. We have to do now. And this is a public schooling, primary school. The discussion is we have 26 school system, or we had. It's starting to get better now. All the states had to sit together, French speaking, Italian speaking, German speaking, had to sit together and say, what are we doing? How should we make sure that somebody going to school here is actually afterwards qualified to go to university here, or to the university here, maybe to the university here, which here is French. Yep. So, what should we do? What shall we do? And then we have the language problem. We have to have languages in school, not foreign languages, but languages of our own country, which are foreign languages for quite about everybody, because we have French, not easy to learn. We have German, the most awful language to learn in the world, I guess, nearby. We have Italian, not too hard to learn after all, but everybody says, who cares about Italian? That's just Italy where it's spoken, because at least we can say from here, German speaking part, we can say 80 million Germans speak German, and Austria too. The French can say the whole world speaks French. If they don't speak English, they speak French. Yeah, mostly. So you can get around whole Africa with French. And yeah, but everybody agrees that we have to learn English, because after all, even more people speak something like English in different states and grades. So everybody agrees that pupils in Switzerland have to learn English. But then, of course, we in the German part have to learn French, and the Italian part, I don't know what they actually have to learn. They have the problem they can't teach them French German and English in school, because that would be really quite a bit too much. Then the local language has to be taught, at least to the local people, and so on. The French speaking have to learn German. And after all, if we meet somewhere in the middle, we all speak English together. So, strictly technical, we could change to English, which would be quite a shame, of course. Yeah, I personally don't want that everybody only speaks English in Switzerland, nothing else. Yeah. And now, so the decision this state is making about what school has to, where to teach, what to teach, is always affecting everybody. And Thurgau already decided to teach English first and later on French. And the French are very unhappy. No, not the French, the French-speaking Swiss, don't mix them up with French, sorry. They are Romand, they are Swiss and speaking French, they are not French. Yeah, to clarify. So this is affecting, if Thurgau says first English and afterwards French, the Romans are very unhappy. The ones from Ticino are always unhappy because nobody wants to teach somebody Italian. And so on. And this one is another one where people now say the plan we have made in Switzerland since I guess more than 10 years. And 2012 it started, and 2017 it should really get into the schools. And now some people are saying, no, we have to throw it all over, and people have to decide what for every change. For Parliament has to talk about everything again, and the whole population has to be able to step in at every step whenever something has to be changed in public schooling. Yeah, now we have to decide it. And after all, you say, from an economical point of view, what can we decide here? Universities are out of state. In this state we have university, in this state we have a university here and over there, but there is no real university, no big university, just some very specific topic schools. Higher schools are in Thurgau, and the one is in Germany, in Constance. So what can we actually decide? If we decide to do something nobody else does, okay, we can decide it. No university has got a problem and our people are not prepared for them. They can throw them out and then get some paying people in. So, well, but we can, and we have to now. The other one, which is of course a great discussion, but does not have much to do with the cultural structure of Switzerland, is some people want to get out of nuclear power faster than the federal government wants, and want to kick them in the ass to get it done faster. Because of course industry having nuclear power plants wants to slow it down. But this is mostly political stuff in where the nuclear power plants really are, not so much in the rest of Switzerland. And of course there is always this tendency to slow things down until nobody talks about it anymore. And therefore this is just the idea. Let's tell them, guys, we want you to stop in some amount of time. It has to be changed the way that the nuclear power plants, we have the oldest one in the whole world still running, by the way. And they should end after they have been running for 45 years. No, 45 years. and not after 60 or 70 or 253 or whatever. So I'd say this is a, for economy, this is an important decision, but it's not a problem having to do with the cultural situation. You have seen 3 Switzerlands divided into 26 Switzerlands. Oops. Have to talk about one topic and try to get some working solution out of it. And that's what you get 4-5 times a year in this country, where we get some papers, some slips to vote, and so on. And we have to read the whole stuff again. The Parliament couldn't decide. That's Switzerland.